Last week, I reflected on the phrase, think outside the box, and really curious about how it is that we co-create spaces where we feel empowered and willing to think outside the box. And I'm finding myself reflecting more on this at the moment. And what's coming up for me is noticing how we ourselves really feed off the reactions and responses from those in our meeting spaces. What it's prompted for me is a memory around having been at a silent retreat some years ago. And surprisingly, what I really noticed was the absence of visual and verbal affirmations back to me. So the silent retreat was no words, as well as minimal eye contact. So there was no connection with each other from acknowledging each other's presence in this very, reasonably small space, especially when we were at meal times and sitting at a small table with a handful of others and eating our meals in silence and not acknowledging each other through any eye contact or any physical or verbal cues. And where this reflection's sitting in this current exploration around how do we think outside the box in spaces where we are potentially being influenced by our sense of validation and assurance by the reactions and responses around us. What happens to us when we don't feel assured by the nods around the table or the little cues that we've taken to mean there is a understanding or there is a support to what we're saying? And where does that leave us in terms of being human in that moment with our own vulnerabilities that might bubble up to the surface? And that's really what I noticed very starkly when I was in this silent retreat experience. I really noticed how much I missed the little nods, the little smiles, the thank yous, the hellos, those moments of connection when you make eye contact with someone. What that reflected to me in terms of me feeling like I was being seen, me feeling like I was being acknowledged. And when it was absent, it was very, very obvious to me that I felt unsure. I really had to grapple with what that meant for me. And so my inquiry for our collective pondering, if you feel drawn to, is how might our group meeting dynamics, and in those moments when something is shared that might be a bit out of the ordinary in the group, how does that impact the way in which we feel willing to continue to share, to continue to think outside the box, and to give and generously contribute those ideas to and with each other? Thank you so much for spending this time with me, and may you have a magical work day every day.